So you wanna go hard? So you wanna be the greatest? Your life is a fantasy, and it's all for the taking. Cause this time is down and I gotta get it. I'm a beast, I'm a freak when it come to winning. Eyes on the prize like it's television. All room, no bus, no room, your prize. So you wanna go hard?
Welcome to the show, everybody. Joseph Robert, the fantasy football counselor, in the studio with Tim, a.k.a. the Bald Man.
How's it going, brother?
Tim, I'm doing amazing, man. We are almost near the starting line or finish line, whatever you want to call it, to Fantasy Football 2020.
I think that would be the start.
That would be the start. But finish line of whatever this world was going through to lead us up to the starting line here. I'm beyond excited. We're talking top 10 wide receivers for Fantasy Football 2020. Our running back show did so well that everyone kept asking, could you guys give us the wide receivers show? So let's feed them what they want.
And we'll do it, but oh my God, our wide receivers so much harder than the running backs, man. The point differential here is so much smaller. Like any one of these guys could catapult 3 spots with just like one extra touchdown and maybe 60 yards. It's crazy.
We've crunched the numbers here, and I really hate doing top 10 lists. I'm just doing this to make everybody happy. The real information is in the 16-round draft solution, guys. Head on over to thefantasyfootballcounts.com. Get the 16-round draft solution because every list is pretty much based on ADP rankings. Now, when we give our top 10 list here, it's going to kind of stray away from that mainstream. And I'm not just doing it to stray away, but I'm really trying to compensate and look at who could emerge, who could fall down, how it actually could finish. So it's not ADP consensus when we do our top 10 list. And with wide receiver, it's super tricky. That's why 16 rounds is better, because I literally avoid wide receivers for the first 3 rounds for the most part. Now, I may grab a Julio, an Adams, a Galladay in the first 3 rounds if I can. But typically, Tim, I'm dodging it going robust RB. So 16-round draft solution at thefantasyfootballcounts.com, where you get a concrete formula to get an optimal roster to crush your leagues. Make sure you guys grab it. I've also linked it here below, Tim. Pin the comment or head on over to thefantasyfootballcounselor.com. Before we get into this, also, guys, head on over to manscaped.com. Use promo code. What is it, Tim? Do you remember?
It's Shower Lion.
Shower Lion. Yes. If you're you're a lion in the shower, it's called Shower Lion. That's what you're going to be once you're grooming with the Lawnmower 3.0. Head on over there, guys. And upon checkout, Tim, just put the promo code Shower Lion, all one word, Lion, that is. Shower Lion, and you're going to save 20% off your purchase. They got some great products.
Yeah, man, it's funny. I was just checking out the box they sent you today. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah. All right, Tim, let's go. So we're going to work our way down from 10 all the way down to 1 with the wide receivers. And again, leave your fantasy questions below. I'll get to as many as I humanly possibly can. Questions below in the comments, and smash a thumbs up. It really helps, Tim. Every time you hit the
it makes me feel good.
And what is it today, Tim? Every time you hit the smash a thumbs up, you get a new hair growing on top of your head.
Or I get to get a smash?
Yeah, you get smashed in the face.
No.
All right, Tim. So, yeah, please leave the smash thumbs up. It helps the channel as well. So, yeah, all the plugs are done. Everything's done to keep us...
There's one disclaimer I got to make here. Some names are going to be missing from this list. You guys are going to rip us new a-holes.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I hate wide receivers. I hate early round wide receivers, because we saw last year what happened. We saw Odell bust. And again, everyone was telling you Odell first round 3 years in a row. Obviously, that didn't work out well. Adams busted. He only played, 12 games last year. So it happens, man. These wide receivers don't necessarily, just because you're drafting them early doesn't mean they'll finish on top. We saw other guys emerge, guys that I liked, Kenny Galladay. Who else emerged last year? Chris Godwin emerged. Allen Robinson emerged. All these guys coming up from Devontae Parker finished. Like, who would ever drafted Devontae Parker, right, in the top 12?
And not just that, though, but like I said, the point differential is so much smaller. It's not necessarily that these guys are going to do that much worse this year. It's that it doesn't take much for the guy below him to just jump over top of him. And sometimes 2-3 positions. So that's the thing, guys. It's not that we're necessarily dumping on some of the best running back wide receivers in the game. It's just that other people might just catapult in front.
Yeah, I mean, last year I was called crazy when I had Landry ahead of Odell. I'm like, Landry is better than Odell. And that's what my 16 rounds was emphasized. Like, don't draft Odell. If you want somebody, go Landry. Landry actually finished 12th last year in PPR amongst wide receivers, crushing Odell Beckham Jr. Odell finished, 25? He was 25th amongst wide receivers. Again, busted yet again. So let's go through this list here. I want you guys to keep an open mind. Ideally go robust because, again, I want to do a disclaimer. There is a ton of value at wide receiver later. There's a ton of breakouts and sleepers, and I explain all of this in 16 rounds, but I'll give you an example. Deontay Johnson could be a top 10 wide receiver. T.Y. Hilton could be a top 10 wide receiver. A.J. Brown, Shark. Terry McLaurin could be a top 10 wide receiver. There's a ton of guys that could really emerge here. But again, I'm just doing this to please you guys and get a list of guys that could potentially finish top 10, but don't be surprised. It's going to be way different than this potentially.
Yeah, and see, the funny thing is, you're all about that robust RB, and I've said it many times. I'm actually looking for a top dog wide receiver in round one, depending on where my pick is. If I can get... if I'm top 3 pick and I can get Michael Thomas, I'm taking him. If I'm around 7 to 10 and I can get Julio, I'm taking him. And then I see I'm getting some amazing running backs still in the 3rd, 4th round. So I'm going to try to get that one top dog. Then I'm going to go running back.
Yeah, but you have to get those running backs before round 5 because it gets slim after round 5. Yeah, so, yeah, I mean, you could get away. And that's what I said. I might sneak in a wide receiver as part of the robust RB strategy. And I go 3 running backs and 1 wide receiver within the first 4 rounds. That's okay because you're still going to get yourself a Gurley, a Johnson, a Fournette, a Johnson. I love David Johnson round 3 or 4. With those guys slipping, man, it's pretty good. The Conchitas are sleeping, okay, which is great. Let them get the Aaron Jones who's due for a decline. Let them get those guys. Anyway, check out the running back episode. It'll help you guys. So who do you got at number 10?
Number 10 here, I'm going T.Y.
Okay, fair enough.
I know he was injured last year, and, if you kind of look at his numbers, he'd do good. T.Y. is always good, and I think with Phillip Rivers throwing him the ball this year, I just think that the potential is really there to get up there and get the good numbers. So, yeah, his yards per target are good. His yards per reception are good. Last year, kind of the worst in his career, actually. Yeah. So he is due for the bounce back. I think Phillip Rivers is going to be the answer, and I think it's going to be that year for him. Yeah,
so Tim is going to be sharing his, and I'll be sharing mine. Now let's talk about T.Y. Hilton. I love him this year. I'm getting him in the 5th round, and I'm also backing him up with Michael Pittman. Now there is some talk that they are a sleeper candidate to land Antonio Brown. I've been doing a lot of reading on this. Antonio Brown, a free agent. No team has pulled the trigger on him to grab him. It'd be interesting to see who does that.
Even if they do, though, he is technically suspended for at least 8 games, right?
Yeah,
so
but still,
no matter what, he's missing half the season.
It still bothers me because come playoff time, he's going to come in and probably be a thorn in the side of whatever wide receiver you have. So if you are looking at a Metcalf or Lockett, Seattle is looking at him. I heard Houston was flirting with him, and I like Brandon Cooks. I think Cooks is phenomenal value. So it's just it's like these teams that are kind of like they don't have the true wide receiver one are looking at him. And I also heard the Packers are looking at him. So when we are looking at Devontae Adams, that could be a huge buzzkill as well because the Packers did not acquire a wide receiver in the draft. They are relying on Lazard. How good is Lazard? Can he be a true 2? That's the big question. So T.Y. Hilton, again, I like him. Again, he's got Phillip Rivers throwing the ball. Phillip Rivers 7th in attempts last year amongst quarterbacks in throwing. Keenan Allen has been a top wide receiver. In fact, top 6 last year due to the fact of Phillip Rivers throwing on the ball. 149 targets to Keenan Allen. Can Hilton be the Keenan Allen in Indy? And can he even be better? I mean, this guy was really good in 2016. Ton of yards. His touchdowns weren't that high. I believe he had 6 touchdowns the year he was really good. But in T.Y.'s respect, I mean, obviously he's been a little banged up, but he hasn't had a good quarterback thrown to him. Now he does with Phillip Rivers. So I like it.
And not to mention, you said he's a value. I mean, if you can get this guy 4th, 5th round, which seems to be where he's going right now, why not take the shot?
Absolutely. All right, so my 10 here, and this is a bit of a reach here, but, I see the ceiling, and the guy I'm talking about is A.J. Brown. Now, A.J. Brown, 84 targets, 52 receptions, still had 1,051 yards and 8 touchdowns. That's promising, considering he did all of that and finished 21st amongst wide receivers with only 84 targets. That's going to go up this year. Matt Ryan has made Ryan Tannehill. They both have a Ryan in there. So Ryan Tannehill, I see the ceiling with him. I think he's a great value at quarterback. I see he easily finishes top 10 amongst quarterbacks. And I think being the only guy there, a run-first team with the defenses possibly focusing on Henry this year, I think it's going to open things up, and I think A.J. Brown is a special talent.
I kind of questioned you on this, but as I'm looking at his stats, I mean, yards per target, yards per reception are definitely right at the highest level they can be, and then he even had 3 rushes for 60 yards, so 20-yard average rush with a touchdown. So it throws some extra points in there, why not? But yes, The yards per target, yards per reception,
I know.
makes him attractive.
I know. That's why I picked him. That's it.
Right on, man.
No, I'm joking. All right. So A.J. Brown coming at number 10. Coming at number 9 here, I'll go with my guy here, Cooper Kupp. Now, it's very suspect here when you're looking at any wide receiver. I mean, like I said, Cooper Kupp had a good year last year, finished 4th amongst wide receivers. That's not bad. Now, a lot of people are valuing, including the consensus, have Robert Woods ahead of this guy. The problem with Robert Woods is he's not really a touchdown guy. He makes that up in receptions and yardage. I get it. But I still think Cooper Kupp is the primary target and the one there. I like him. I think the upside is here, Tim.
I agree, and I actually have him ranked quite a bit higher.
Really?
So,
okay.
Yeah, I can't argue with you on that one.
And you can explain why a little more detailed there. But again, number 4th last year in PPR. I like him. I mean, 10 touchdowns. He's the primary target. I mean, I had to, man. The rapport is there. I mean, it really isn't anyone safer. Like, who else am I going to put here at number 9? Amari Cooper. I don't trust Amari Cooper. He's not in my top 10. They got CeeDee Lamb there. Who else am I going to put in here? Tyler Lockett with Metcalf possibly emerging. They're looking at Antonio Brown. Like, there's reasonings why. I mean, he looks like a clear-cut guy that's just going to get the volume. I don't see any other way around it. When you look at safe and secure, I got to go Cuppy.
Yep, I like it.
Okay, who do you got there?
My number 9 is a guy you love to hate, Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill. Now, man, oh, man. I don't know about this guy. I got him in my top 10. I got him higher than you.
Which is surprising.
The thing about it is I'm going...
KC is such a target-rich team. We talk about it all the time, but he had an amazing 2018.
That's what I'm looking at.
Missed 4 games in 2019, but still, he was on pace for 20 catches for approximately 1,100 yards and double-digit touchdowns.
Well, the problem with him is he's peaked at 137 targets. When I'm looking at a wide receiver one, especially a guy I'm investing a first-round draft capital, I'm not drafting this guy first round. 137 targets in his peak year, 12 touchdowns, 1,400 yards. Is that going to continue? Is he going to get more? I don't know. Now they've got Mecole Hardman, who's groomed up. They've got Kelsey. They've got Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who's going to be using the passing game a little bit even as a running back and to catch more balls. I don't know, man. I just don't see the targets. Now, also, Sammy Watkins saying he's going to have this pinnacle 100-yard reception type season, and he's sucked for years. So everybody wants to eat on this offense.
Tyreek gets used a little bit in the run game, too. Like, he didn't do anything spectacular, but he had 8 rushes. So, he gets involved maybe in some trick plays, some little funny stuff, and that can pay off every now and then, and that's all you need as well.
Yep. It's tough. And the thing about him, again, is the volatility. I don't like the volatility. So he's going to have one game where he's going to have 40 points, and then the next game he's going to have 3 points.
He's an Amari Cooper.
Yeah, I don't like that at all. And the volatility alone is enough to turn me off of him. But the problem is I had to rank him on overall finishes. So in regards to points at the end of the season, right. And ceiling wise, he could easily finish where I've got him, which we'll get to in a moment, which is top 5. But I mean, again, I'm personally not drafting him, but I had to make this list and I had to tell you who would finish top 5. I don't like the volatility. So again, I've got his numbers here pulled up. I look at week 10 in 2018, which was his good year. He had like 3 points, then like he's got these weird games where he just puts up these low points and then he has a big game. And anyway. Yeah. All right. So that was your number 9.
That's my 9. Let me give you my 8th now. So my 8th is Allen Robinson. And why not? He's had decent numbers both years with Chicago. I don't see any reason why that's going to change. Just look for a repeat of last year, essentially. That's all I'm saying. Like, he's just a good, solid receiver on a pretty decent offense. Nothing amazing, but decent. And he's the guy.
You know what? Yeah, I mean, 154 targets last year, finishing 8th amongst wide receivers. I mean, there is talk about Mitch Trubisky stepping it up this year, Tim. He knows he's got to carry the team on his back or he's going to lose his job, period. So Mitch has to perform. Nagy has to perform. Robinson is the guy there. I don't know, man. I mean, he's out of my top 10, could easily be in my top 10. I was debating on whether I wanted to put him in here. I mean, the ceiling is there, the volume is there, the opportunity is there. I don't know what to tell you. The talent is there. He's talented. Is he a true wide receiver one? I think he's slightly above the level of your Julio Joneses and Hopkins and Thomases of the world.
Whoa, wait, you just said above Julio Jones?
Sorry, below, slightly below.
Thank you. Woo.
Yeah, we caught my words here. But I know, below. He is below par in regards to a true wide receiver. I'm glad you caught that. So, yeah, I don't know, man. He could easily, but...
Number 8, I feel safe and comfortable there.
You can't argue that.
Yeah.
All right, so my number 8 is Adam Thielen. Now, last year, he's a little bit lower on people's rankings because he had a hammy injury, played 10 games. But man, this guy still had a good year in 2017 and 2018, always finishing in the top 10, number 7 in 2018, number 8 in 2017. So we know this guy's a top 10 finisher when healthy, when playing. He's the main guy there. Now, I do like Jefferson late. That's the thing I like about Minnesota is I do like Jefferson late, the rookie, Justin. But, Thielen's a guy that is Mr. Safe and reliable. That's going to get 140, 150 targets. It's interesting. I mean, if he stays healthy, he's good. Jefferson could be another option. Now, I also heard in this situation, they are also flirting with Antonio Brown. There's a chance that Antonio Brown lands on this team as well, which is a shame because that would really kill Justin Jefferson's value. Again, this was something that would really annoy me if Antonio Brown ended up on the Vikings.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Right now, the Vikings are Thielen and Cook.
Yeah.
That's it. You don't talk about anybody else.
Those are the two best players on the team. So, I mean, Jefferson could be a target there. Again, plug and play as a rookie wide receiver who I like. But, I mean, how do I go wrong here with Adam Thielen as a top 10 guy?
Yeah, once again, I have him higher.
All right, fair enough.
Who's your 7?
All right, so I'm torn on this one. Let's talk about DeAndre Hopkins. Now, I couldn't keep him out of the top 10 because of talent. You did. Tim's nuts.
That's the one I said you guys are going to rip me, and I know it.
They're going to rip you. I mean, I don't know. Here's the deal. So I looked at the stats, and I keep talking about this, and I sound like a broken record. I look at the Cardinals lining up 4 wide. So you've got Larry Fitzgerald, who I think is going to eventually be phased out, and he's going to get lower volume in regards to attempts this year, or passing attempts. Then you've got Christian Kirk, who's got the rapport. They've got Andy Isabella. They've got Akeem Butler, who was injured last year, who could also emerge. They've got Kenyon Drake catching the ball back. They got Kyler Murray running the ball when he scrambles and gets yardage. And then you've got a guy who has no rapport with Kyler Murray. They've never played together. And then you've had Larry Fitzgerald last year maxing out at 109 targets. Kirk at 107. So that's 220, let's say 218, 220 passing attempts with 2 guys. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's 220. Now they're still there. So now Hopkins, for him to succeed, he's got to get the ball, thrown to him at least 150 attempts. He needs at least that because that's where he thrived last year. I believe he had 150 attempts the year before. I think he had 163. So lack of rapport with Kyler Murray, number 1. Number 2, they line up 4 wide, so there's a ton more mouths to feed. And then, I mean, how is he going to get, mathematically, Tim, I don't know if this makes sense to me. Anyway, I got him at 7. And again, I should be building a case on why he's there. But I'm building a case why he's lower because everyone's got him top 5. He's top 5 typically. So I've got him lower. I'd actually not draft him. Again, total boom or safe candidate. I can't say he's going to completely bust. No. But he's going to be safe. I don't trust the situation. People are just so high on him thinking, again, similar to what happened with Le'Veon Bell. He was in Pittsburgh. He came to the Jets. Okay, well, I don't know. It's a different situation. Worse team. Everyone drafted him in the first round. This is the same type of scenario, but I just think the volume isn't going to be there in this case.
You made a perfect argument as to why I kept him out of my 10. He's right there. I mean, the talent is amazing. There's no doubting it. I would never put him down and say he's not a great player. It's just I don't know what's going to happen yet, and I don't trust the situation either. So maybe as the season approaches, maybe we'll have a better idea of how he's getting along. Is he going to be the true top dog? Is he going to steal receptions from everybody? Is he going to get those targets? That's the deal. And that's what I'm not sure of yet. That's why he is just out of my top 10.
And this is why wide receivers are so tough, Tim, because I'm just speaking the truth. So I could easily have him top 5 and say, hey, he's a top 5 guy, put him in there. Everyone else is doing it, and it's the popular thing to do. But I think that's doing people a disservice if you're not making them aware of the target count, the volume, the lack of rapport he's got with Kyler Murray, the fact that the Cardinals will line up 4 wide, the fact that the running backs also catch the ball, they're going to get 100, 120 targets themselves, right? So I don't know, man. In the passing game, I don't know if he's going to get enough volume, and it scares me, it concerns me. I'm personally not drafting him. He is a late first round, early second round guy in a 12-person league. I'm staying away. I'm just going to avoid him.
Yeah, too much investment there.
So that was my 7.
Right on. So my number 7 is another guy that you kind of hate and you always talk about him, Keenan Allen. And why not? He's been pretty good the last 3 years, especially for staying healthy. He's missed a couple here and there, but not too bad. Last year he put together a full year with good stats.
Yeah.
He's always good for around 100 catches, 1,200 yards, 6 TDs, which is, a little bit low, but not bad.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Keenan Allen, I mean, I don't really need to make a case for him. He's just a good, solid wide receiver. As long as he stays healthy, which he has been, That's why I feel pretty comfortable with him at 7.
People are going to rip you. Wow, Hopkins is not in your
I
top
know.
10.
I know, but it's situation again.
But he's got a shitty situation. He's got Tyrod Taylor throwing the ball.
That is pretty damn shitty.
And then we don't know what Herbert's going to do. If he comes in, it's going to be a quarterback change midseason.
I hate the quarterback situation, believe me.
I'm staying away, but based on volume and somebody's got to catch the ball, again, he's struggled with injury in the past as well, so I don't like him at all. He's not, I don't even consider him a guy I would even look at.
Okay.
That's the counselor,
I
right?
know, yeah.
So yeah, okay, so that's my number 6. Now, this is a whole other debate. So this is going to open up another can of worms here, and I'm torn on this one. Now, here's the deal. The guy I'm talking about is Chris Godwin at 6. Now, I put him in here based on ceiling opportunity and the fact that he's due for a contract. It's a contract year. Not to mention he could be more of a PPR machine and catch more balls, whereas Evans is more of a deep threat, okay? Now, Brady, aging Brady, older Brady, 43, what is he, 43-year-old Brady, whatever he is. Brady's going to probably want to get those shorter passes. He had it with Edelman, and I think Godwin's going to be that direct replacement. Now, the problem I have with Godwin and Evans here is that the mainstream contributors have both of these guys in the top 10. Mm-hmm. The reason they have that is because they are confused. They are conflicted. And to be honest with you, I'm conflicted too, and everybody is, because I was on live on my Instagram, and I asked people who's going to be the wide receiver 1, and they all said Godwin, and then some of them said Evans. It was like a mixed bag, so nobody really knows. I don't think even Brady knows. So the fact of the matter is, why would I put both of them in the top 10? Because again, if you look at a guy like Edelman, 153 targets, 100 receptions, and I look at, okay, so you have Edelman finishing top 7. Now, I have a list here in front of me. You got to scroll down. Who is the other wide receiver? I don't see another wide receiver that finished anywhere close to where Edelman finished in regards to fantasy points. Who is the second guy? I don't even know. I got to have to pull that up, and I'm going to do that right now. And the fact of the matter is, I don't see both of these guys finishing in the top 10. I mean, I'm going to pull this up right now real quickly for wide receivers. The guy behind Edelman was Sanu with 89 targets. Now, another thing you got to note here is that the running backs in New England catch the ball quite a bit, including James White, who had, what do you have? He had a bunch of targets toward his way, right? He had 95 targets for 72 receptions. So there goes 100 targets that way. And Ronald Jones, being slated as the RB1 right now, is going to get some balls either way. So what I'm trying to say here is that there's no way, I don't see it viably, that both these guys thrive and become top 10. Does this make sense? It's a huge argument here.
I think you made the perfect argument with the short pass guy. That's what he is, and that's where he's going to fit. So that's why you've made your decision, and I'm happy with that.
It's
I actually
tough.
love the explanation. Yeah.
It's a tough one. It's a tough one, honestly, because either one of these guys, both, I mean, Evans is the wide receiver one on that team.
And he is the deep threat. That's the scenario here.
It's tough. I mean, I don't even know what to say, but here's the deal. And this is what I explained in my 16-round drafts. This is why I'm just not going to draft either one of them. But Chris Godwin's got the high ceiling. Now, you're investing a mid to late second-round pick on Godwin, and you're investing an early to mid third-round pick in a 12-person league on Evans. So my question to you is, like, is it worth a second and third-round pick on a dice flip, or a roll of the dice, or a coin flip? Who's going to be the guy?
It's hard, man.
I think one will emerge.
And you have to see, like, so in every draft, if you're playing out a draft scenario, it's like, who are your first 2 picks then? Or who have you picked before him to justify which one of these guys to take? If you've gone 2 RBs and then Mike Evans seems to be the best one there, okay, I can see it.
I'm rolling the dice on Chris Godwin, but again, very, very suspect situation here, Tim.
Yep. Right. I think you made a great argument, though. Thank you. Thank you for that, Mr. Counselor.
Yeah, I know. What's your number 6?
My 6 is someone you just referred to, Julian Edelman. And why not? He's just that guy. He's always there. He's always around the ball. He's always going to get a lot of receptions. He's going to get a lot of targets. That's the reason, man. He's there. That's where he belongs, because he gets a lot of short passes.
You got some nitty-gritty guys in the top 10.
I know. It's like, I have a struggle with wide receivers, and I admit it. Like, it's so easy for a guy to jump so many places.
But then you got, the problem with your wide receivers here is that they have suspect quarterbacks. Tyrod Taylor now, possibly Cam Newton.
Stop talking about it.
Or Stidham. Now, we don't know Stidham. Is there going to be a quarterback change? Is Cam Newton going to get the start? We don't know.
Yeah.
And that's why I like Devin Asiasi as a late round last pick sleeper at tight end. Because if Cam Newton starts, man, that could be a sleeper tight end. But anyway, that's besides the point. We're going to do tight ends Let's do tight ends on. Are we doing quarterback? Let's do quarterbacks on Thursday.
Sure.
Let's do quarterbacks. Okay. And then we'll do tight ends the week after. But what I'm saying here is, man, those are risky guys. With Edelman, with the quarterback situation, I'm suspect.
And the thing is, because he's always around the ball and he gets those short passes, to me, it doesn't matter who the quarterback is. He is a safe outlet.
Yeah.
He's always there. He'll make it happen. So,
I'm personally not touching him.
all right. Now, my number 5 is someone you've already talked about, Adam Thielen. He's the undisputed wide receiver 1 in Minnesota now. He kind of always was, but he's still he's that much more now that Diggs is gone.
Yeah.
So a slight increase in his numbers even. I don't see a huge jump, just a slight increase. I'm even saying 5 might be too low for this guy. He could easily finish top 3rd.
He could. I mean, but again, I like Jefferson emerging there, so that's why I'm kind of turned off Thielen. I'm more of a Jefferson later round kind of pick over a Thielen early round pick.
Thielen's always good for targets, receptions. His touchdowns are always good. In fact, he could have double-digit touchdowns this year.
I just don't want to invest in an early round pick. I'm looking at running backs there, so that's why I'm staying away. But all right, so this one, number 5, I hate it, but I had to do it because I just the ceiling is there, and at the end of the day, this guy, if healthy, it could easily he's going to finish the top 10, period, if healthy. Like Tyreek Hill. I mean, there's no denying it. A healthy Tyreek Hill who doesn't do anything off the field that he shouldn't be doing, and that doesn't, and a guy that doesn't get hurt, hopefully, in this season is going to finish top 10.
Speaking of guys who did things off field that they shouldn't, Darius Geis, you dumbass.
I know, Darius Geis, domestics.
I mean, injured, primed for a great year. Domestic assault. You moron.
What an
you
idiot.
just screwed your whole life.
I don't understand. And we're going to be adding, when the season starts, we're going to be adding a news and notes section at the end of the show, guys. So make sure you guys stay tuned. With these top 10 lists, I don't want to add news and notes because you're going to stumble upon this video, the last week of August, first week of September, and be like, why are they talking about news from mid-August, right?
All I can say is, you amazing football players, great athletes, stop being such idiot thugs away from the game.
It was stupid, man. It was totally stupid. They make stupid decisions, some people, and man, you got everything going for you, and then you go and do something like that. So it is what it is.
All right, sorry. Continue on with your player.
Tyreek Hill, number 5. I'm not drafting. This is crazy. Number 5, I'm not drafting. Again, that's why the 16-round draft solution, I tell you who to draft in each round. He is recommended in the first round. I mean, he's suggested, I think, but I'm personally not drafting him. I mean,
too high of a price for you personally.
And a first round pick, not for me, especially with too many mouths to feed. We talked about Tyreek Hill. Who's your 5?
I gave you my 5.
Who's
so
number
how
4?
about you give us your 4?
We're
snaking here.
We're snake draft. Yeah, it's a snake draft. Right. All right. Kenny Galladay. I mean, I love this guy. Tim's not that excited about him. Tim's giving me a look.
What don't I love about him, though?
After
his reception ratio. It's horrible.
When Driscoll's throwing the ball, or Blau.
Yeah, you made a little bit of a case.
Blau is throwing the ball. What kind of name Blau?
But we looked at the numbers, and for the 9 games that Stafford was in, he still had 2 dumpers.
Okay.
2 3-point games.
Now, let me talk about it. So
all right, give it to us.
So Stafford played 8 games, okay? In those 8 games, listen to this, Galladay had 7 touchdowns. Multiple games with really 2 touchdowns in a game, right? That's a good sign, right? So then you're looking at him and you're saying, okay, well, that rapport is there with Stafford. Stafford went down, and obviously his touchdowns went down. So Galladay still finished with 11 touchdowns, but again, most of those touchdowns, 7 of them came within the first 8 weeks.
Good point.
So now we're looking at, if he has 7 touchdowns in 8 games, double that, we're looking at 14 touchdown floor. Now, let's be conservative a little bit. Let's go 12 touchdown floor, assuming, So 12 touchdowns we're looking at without a doubt. Now, again, what I didn't like was the targets, 116 targets. I want that to go up, and I think it will with Stafford. And you're going to have a touchdown-heavy wide receiver 1 with that rapport there. Still finished number 9 last year amongst wide receivers, even if he had Blau throwing on the ball. I mean, it's crazy. So I don't think anyone else could have done that. So Galladay, maybe unless you're Hopkins, he's had crappy quarterbacks on him. But anyway, that's besides the fact. So Kenny Galladay, number 9 last year, easily going to be a top 5 finisher. I love him.
I love the touchdowns. I love the argument for the relationship between the two. And you're right, it could definitely be there. And if he can get that 12 TD, it's going to be amazing. Just work on your hands, son.
Yeah.
Get a few more catches in there for those targets, and you'll be amazing.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's saying Marvin Jones is now, but Marvin Jones had like that inflated game where he had like 4. It was like Al Bundy, man. He had like 4 touchdowns in one game, and I mean, his numbers got inflated, predicated on that like one game where he just got targeted so much. And I don't know which game it was, but I'm assuming Galladay must have been seeing some serious double coverage or something like that. But one of those guys, Driscoll or Blau, found Marvin Jones. And
sometimes you just go with the hot hand, man.
That's it.
You make one good play and you feel good with that guy today, so he's your guy.
Yeah. All right. So that's my 4.
My number 4 is Mr. Cooper Kupp. We talked about him already.
He was my 9.
This is where he should finish. Last year he finished number 4 too, so call me a sheep. I don't care. This is his home. It is where he belongs. 134 targets, 94 receptions, 1,150 yards, 10 TDs. Nice amount of TDs for the work. So to me, this is kind of right where he belongs. I don't see any change from last year. Repeat the same numbers.
Right. Exactly. I mean, we talked about him, safe, solid, secure, top 10 finisher if healthy. Again, a lot of people are high on Woods, but again, I think he lacks the touchdowns. So I feel more comfortable with Cooper Kupp. I mean, injuries past a little bit of an issue, but I think he'll be okay, barring any injury.
Right on. My number 3 is Davante Adams.
Okay, fair enough.
We all know. I mean, you've talked about him a lot. You're a big lover of Adams this year, especially.
Yeah.
Only 12 games last year, finished 22nd with 212 points. Give him those 4 extra games, that puts him in the high 200-point mark.
Right.
So he's there. He's got everything going for him. He's got a decent quarterback. He's got a good all-around team around him. He is the clear-cut wide receiver 1. Davante Adams, top 3, no problem.
And then you've got the chip on the shoulder with Aaron Rodgers, who everyone's saying he's washed up.
He had a bad year.
He had a bad year.
He just didn't look himself.
I just hope they don't bring in Antonio Brown. That would bother me a lot.
That would suck huge.
Good for reality, sucks for fantasy.
Any team that picks up AB, it's like, damn, you just killed your wide receiver 1.
Okay, my number 3 is Michael Thomas, which everyone else has him at 1. But the problem is, it's very hard to have him finish 1 2 years in a row. And just to note here, in 2017, finished number 6 amongst wide receivers in PPR. 2018, finished 6th. So yeah, he leaped to number 1, which means you got to compensate a little bit of a drop, maybe, and then someone else emerging. Maybe a Tyreek Hill has a pinnacle game a year. Maybe it's Adams. Maybe it's Julio Jones. I don't know. Either way, someone will come up over him, and I've got the 2 guys.
Michael Thomas is a rare superstar talent.
He had a pinnacle year.
5 years in the league, every year over 1,000 yards, and increased every year. So it was like 1,100, 1,200, 14, 1,700. This guy's just amazing. Even we talked about it. Even if he loses 100 points, he was right there for first, second last year.
Yeah.
So even if let's say he decreases, he doesn't see that 180 targets, he sees 150. His hands are amazing. He's got like an 80.6% catch ratio. This guy is absolutely clear-cut the number 1, no doubt about it. 16 games, and he destroys every receiver.
Yeah, I mean, he had like a record year, man. Cashing,
he did.
80%
I'll
cash.
give you that, but even if he loses 50 points, he still destroys the second-place guy.
I don't know, man. I don't trust him. I don't trust him. But the thing is, here's why I'm turned off. Because he is a first-round pick, and he's being drafted ahead of like guys like Derrick Henry sometimes.
Uh-huh.
That bothers me.
It doesn't. I'm like, yeah, so I don't care at all.
Yeah, so I don't know. It is what it is. I got him at 3. I got 2 guys ahead of him.
Okay, so who's your 2?
My 2 is Julio Jones. I think he has a record.
We agree on this one.
We're both at 2?
Yeah, I got him 2.
So that lined up nicely. So now he finished 7th in 2017. What did he finish? 4th in 2018, I believe, and number 3 in 2019. Always a top 10 finisher. Always consistent. Always safe. Always reliable.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, where he lacks a little bit is the touchdown category, which I think this year he'll continue to lack because I think Ridley gets used a lot more in the red zone there. Man, I just can't deny the talent, the receptions, the volume, the targets, the yardage. I mean, PPR, he's just great, man. He's all around great. I think Ryan has a great year. I think that offense has a great year. I had to put him at 2. I mean, he's a guy like at the end of first round that I would grab and then maybe go robust RB right after him.
I love it because I feel exactly the same way. I'm a bit biased here. I've loved Julio for years. I'm a huge fan of his. He just gets it done. He does his job. He doesn't piss and moan. He doesn't create drama. There's never anything negative to be said about Julio Jones.
Let the action speak.
Yeah, that's it. Put it on the field, and he does it, man, year after year after year. And like you said, always huge yardage, always a good amount of targets. Yes, the touchdowns are always lacking. I think last year he got off to a hot start, and I was like, ooh, he might really do it. No, it kind of fizzled out, but damn.
You know, I have that saying, years to wow me and I'm not wowed. I've never said this before, but years to wow me, and boy, am I wowed. It's the other way around, right?
Sweet.
So Julio Jones at number 2.
Julio for number 2 for both of us. And of course, I went Michael Thomas, number 1. We've already talked about it. Just an amazing, amazing talent.
And I went Devontae Adams. Now, the reason I did, he was number 2 in targets back in 2018. I'm going off 2018 year. He was banged up last year, so you could say, Joey's injured. Blah. I get it. But listen, I mean, if Antonio Brown doesn't come in, they don't bring in someone else, clear-cut wide receiver 1, going to get a lot of volume. Aaron Rodgers chip on his shoulder. We talked about it, and he had a phenomenal 2018 where he was number 2 in fantasy points, and I think that could happen yet again. He's got one of the highest ceilings amongst wide receivers. There is nobody else there contending with him unless it's Lazard as a sleeper. I don't see Lazard a huge threat, but he will get his share of volume. They're going to be throwing the ball a lot more, man. I really feel it this year.
Yep, I agree.
So that's it.
I like it.
That's it.
You guys can rip us. I know I left D-Hop off my list. You guys are going to rip me for it. It's okay.
Well, Joe, where's Amari Cooper?
Yeah, we always hear it. No matter what list you make, people are always pissed off.
Where's Odell? Where's Odell?
Yeah.
Where's Odell? Where's Robert Woods, Joe? Where's Mike Evans, Joe? You know, it's just it's never going to end. And at the end of the day, that's why you get 16 rounds. Get it at thefantasyfootballcouncil.com or link below. I'm telling you guys, it is the game changer because it actually gives you a strategy instead of just these stupid lists. But again, we do this for this show. We do this for the people. They want to hear a list.
And it's not bull crap. I mean, I truly believe that this is the way the year could end. And of course, there can be some guys that jump in here instead. It's totally possible. Even barring injuries, guys might jump in here. So I don't mind it. You know, you guys can rip me a little bit. I'm fine with it. This is what I think it's going to be.
The mainstream consensus list is Thomas, Adams, Hill, Julio, Godwin, Hopkins, Kenny Evans, Allen Robinson, and Cooper Kupp.
Yeah,
not Cooper Kupp, Amari Cooper.
There's probably like 6 to 7 matches there out of the 10.
Allen Robinson and Amari Cooper are 9 and 10. So, I mean, we're not that far off the mainstream, right? I mean, like I said, there is other guys that can emerge. I said this from the beginning. Terry McLaurin, another guy that can emerge. DJ Shark, I like. Diggs could have a great season in Buffalo. Calvin Ridley can emerge here. There's a ton more. Metcalf could crack the top 10. Darius Slayton could be a superstar, right? Deontay Johnson. I just gave you a bunch of sleepers there. So when it comes to wide receiver, you can literally wait and hit some home runs, man, mid to late rounds. And I'm telling you, that's why I go robust RB.
Here's what's funny. So I'm just looking at some notes I made before, and between the 4th place finisher and the 10th place last year, every single one of those receivers was in the 1,100 yard mark.
Yep.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's always really, really close. Normally the differential is maybe a couple of short receptions or a couple of touchdowns. And that's all that differentiates maybe finishing in the 13th place or the 8th.
Exactly.
It's that close.
Yep, that's it, Tim. We're going to be doing quarterbacks on Thursday. Smash thumbs up, leave your fantasy questions below, and go to manscaped.com. Use promo code SHOWERLINE. Jump on over, guys. Your balls will thank you. And
so will your ladies.
Yeah,
they like the clean balls. I mean, come on.
Clean and fresh and no nicks and cuts.
Yeah, and smelling nice.
Nice and fresh. There's
beauty.
tons of products there. Manscaped.com. Use promo code SHOWERLION without the at the end. Just SHOWERLION. All right, guys, and smash thumbs up, and we'll see you next video. We're talking quarterbacks on Thursday, Tim.
Have a good one, everybody.
We're out, guys. Thanks. Talk soon.